Good evening, everybody. There's been a live update. We are live. We're hopefully working. Like I said, we have an update on the software that we use, so fingers crossed everybody can see us. If you are watching, let us know you're here in the group chat. Few announcements while I get everybody in. We have the photo of the week. I've written it down. Photo of the week, usually 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. Will not lie. Completely forgot to post it this morning. It is now live, and it'll be live till 12 p.m. tomorrow, and then we'll announce the finalists for Banner of the Week. It's going to be a bit more streamlined than usual, so fingers crossed we can all get you guys in. I'm just going to check that the live's gone out while we wait for the wonderful Kelcey, who is going to give us a demonstration. We've got comments coming in. I don't need to check. It's worked. Kelcey's going to give us a live demonstration. It is Pulp Riot Takeover month, and we've got the first artist right here, right now, waiting to go live. She's excited as I am, and we have giveaways. Before I pass over to Kelcey, if you want a goodie bag, which has kindly been given from Deirdre Donnelly, who I have tagged in the bottom there, she's going to put together, I will ask her to confirm what's in it, but it's going to be colours, I know that much. A little goodie bag with all these Pulp Riot things that you're going to see. We're going to give away one goodie bag every single live. To enter, all you need to do is share this live. Once you've shared the live, comment a hairdresser that you think would love this. Once you've done that, on next Monday's live, so the rewatchers, if you're watching this, if you're not watching it live, you've got a chance to do it. Once you've done that, next Monday we will announce the winner live. But without further ado, you're not coming to see me. You've come here to see the amazing Kelcey Lourido, who I will hand straight over to now. Kelcey, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Whereabouts are we watching you in the world today?
So I am in London, actually specifically in Camden Town, London. And I'm in my salon.
Awesome. So, did I hear you say it was more than a salon?
Yes, so it's actually a place called Think Plus, coffee and ink as well. So we've got a cafe, we've got tattooing, and we've got hairdressing, sort of all in one. So a lot going on here, but it's a really good time. So if you're in London, check it out.
If you're in London, go and check it out. So what are you going to show us today? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so what I'm going to be showing you today is basically a look I've created with the Pulp Riot semi-permanent colors. They're my absolute favorite to use for Vivids. Then what we're going to be doing is I've done some pink all over, and then I've actually got a prism all the way around through the hairline. Hopefully you can see it here. But we've got basically some pinks going into oranges, going into yellows. And before we kind of go into the technique of that, I thought I might show you my colors. Is that all right?
Awesome. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Awesome. So the colors that I'm going to be using are, we've got a combination of Cupid and Blush for the pinks. So here are Cupid and Blush. And I've kind of mixed those together about 50-50 just to get that really nice bright pink. Cupid is our darkest pink with the Pulp Riot colors, and then the Blush is more of like a pastel one. But together I find they make the perfect like Barbie pink.
Love that.
So those are our pinks. And then I'm going to be using Satire for the yellow bit of the prism. And this is the really nice like sunflower yellow. It's got loads of pigment. I love it. And then I actually thought that I had some of our Pulp Riot Nuclear in my stock to do for the orange because it's my favorite. But then I realized I didn't. So I actually mixed two different colors, which is one of my favorite things that you can do with the colors as well. Mix them together to make your own custom shade. So I mixed some of our Fireball, which is red, in with the Satire as well. So I've got a combination of those two for the orange. And I've swatched them here also, just so you can see kind of what those shades each look like. So we've got the pink right there, and then we've got the orange right here, and our Satire yellow right there. So those are the colors we're working with today. And yeah, we'll jump into it then, yeah?
That's awesome. Yeah, the comments are flying in, people sharing and tagging, which is amazing. We've got obsessed with the Satire. I can't say that. I nearly said Sapphire then. That's what caught me out. Love the Barbie pink from Laura May Stevens, the OG pinks. You mentioned then about mixing these colours. So they're all intermixable then, I imagine.
Yeah, so all the colors are intermixable, and I find that that's one of the my clients' favorite things is that when they come, they can get a custom color, you know? So they don't just have to have one standard, okay, anybody can get this, but they keep coming back because they're like, oh, I can't find the same, I don't know, shade of pink anywhere else, or I can't find the shade of blue anywhere else. And it's because you can mix and match and make something custom. So it's like their own color. It's not just another blue, it's their blue, you know, or their pink. Yeah, so I've got a couple clients that just keep coming back for that reason specifically.
Well, I know there was especially 2022, I'm not sure about this year, but I know there was a lot of people looking for brands with a vivid orange and a vivid yellow and finding it really difficult to find it. And straight away, I've already seen that you've used them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we've actually got, like I said, we've got both of those here. So I've got my shade chart here from Pulp Riot, and it's got all of our semi-permanent colors. And just to show you, with the Satire, it's our yellow right there, which is the one that, you know, I'm showing now that we're using. But then we've got this really, really nice orange as well. And this is Nuclear, and this is the one that I was going to use. Thought I had it, but honestly, I think I mixed it up pretty well with the other two. The Fireball and the Satire together actually look quite similar to that. So it's one of my favorite shades. You've got to try it if you haven't yet.
Awesome. Well, yeah, anyone who's got any questions on the range, I know it's been around a while now, but some people might not have heard of Pulp Riot. Some people might be new, wanting to try Vivids, looking for other brands. So anyone who's got any questions, now is your time. Every Monday, 6 o'clock, we are live with Pulp Riot.
Yes. Awesome. So yeah, I just want to show you now the sectioning pattern that I've got here before I go in and start applying the colors. But basically what I've done is I've taken about an inch section, just all the way around the hairline. So that even went through to the back and then right up here around the ear and up through the sides, all the way to the parting there. And that's going to be the area where we're going to be doing the prism.
Can we see the section before you start? Because it's a little bit difficult to see. But I don't. Obviously, I know you've got to work. But if maybe we could bring it closer to the camera just to see the section.
I'm just going to try to bring it a little bit closer.
Sorry.
Here. There we go. Can you see that? Perfect. So that's kind of right there at the hairline. And then if we turn it a bit around there, you just see right here by the ear, you've got about an inch section there. Awesome, and then the rest of that is going to be, the rest of the color here on the top is just going to be that pink.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just going to take some very thin sections. I think that's the first thing that I would say working with Vivids and trying to get prisms. You want to make sure that you're taking really fine sections. So something almost that you could see through, essentially. So if you see that, it is quite transparent still.
Yep.
You can kind of see straight through that, nothing too thick. Because I find if I do it a bit too thick, then you're not getting any full saturation on the back side of the hair. So you want to make sure that you've got a really nice thin section really for that full saturation. So I'm just going to put a foil down because I find that this is the easiest way for me to really get everything in there and blended. And we're just going to start with my first color, the pink, right here at the root. And we're just going to apply that.
Are these colours all direct?
Yes, so these are all direct dyes. So what you would want to do is just take them straight from the tube, right into the bowl. You don't need to mix them with any developer or anything like that, just direct dye, which makes them really easy to use. And the consistency is fantastic. Awesome. Because they're not super runny, but they're also not too thick. It's just a really nice, creamy consistency. So I've just put the first color on, and I've done about like an inch and a half right there, and then I'm going to go in with my orange right below it, and I'm just going to pop that on right below. Something else that I find that helps a lot with blending is just kind of overlapping the colors a little bit. And then when you're applying them, you also want to go just in a side-to-side motion as well, just because that's going to help roll the hair around on that foil, and that really helps to, again, get the back of the hair saturated with the color also. And then I'm just going to go in with my yellow and do the same here. Applying that right there, overlapping just a little bit, and then that side-to-side motion again, just to really help get everything in there and blended. And then you just kind of keep going in that way. Something that I like to do is kind of basically start with, like, I'll do my pink, orange, and yellow, and then I'll go back to orange, back to pink, just to kind of fade it back out. But if you wanted to do like a full-on rainbow, you could go from the yellow into the green, into the blue, you know, kind of whatever order you prefer.
What's your favourite colour in the range?
My favorite color in the range is definitely Cupid. I think that is my favorite. It's the really, really bright pink. Yeah, and I mean, I have a couple reasons why I like it. First of all, pink's my favorite color, so I might be a little bit biased with that. But it fades so nicely. So when the pink fades, like from Cupid, I find that it doesn't fade to any like orangey tone on the way out. It just fades to this really nice, like beautiful pale pink, almost like a baby pink, like a soft pink. And it just leaves the hair looking so nice. And then actually, I'll put that in my hair sometimes. And when it fades out, it'll leave it completely blonde again. I don't actually need to remove it at all. It basically fades to a baby pink, and then it disappears, and that's it.
I would say like these services obviously cost a lot of money for our clients this day and age. So how important is it to think of the fading of the colour and what shades they're going to get? Because obviously people spend a lot of money. They want it to last as long as possible.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's really important to think and to be honest with them about the fade and what it's going to look like. And, you know, I think a couple really big benefits that got me hooked on Pulp Riot, and that's why I continue to use it, is the first one is the fade. You know, it's the fact that it fades so nicely. Like all the colors fade really true to tone, so you're not getting weird colors. So for example, if I put, you know, purple in somebody's hair, it's not fading to blue before it leaves. It's just fading to a lighter, more pastel version of purple, and then it's gone out of the hair. If I'm putting blue in somebody's hair, it's not fading to green. It's fading out to a baby blue, and then it's gone. And so that's something that has really helped, again, my clients to want to keep coming back for different vivids. But you also have to be realistic with them, I think, about the fact that it does fade, you know, because a lot of people always want to avoid the fade. And I think with Pulp Riot, you can actually really embrace the fade because it is so beautiful. You get a different hair color. It feels like every time, you know, like after every couple washes, it's like a different hair color, but it's still so beautiful because it's so true to tone.
I don't know in focus my doll is behind me, but there's a mullet doll there, and I have a client that has a very similar haircut to that. If probably the same haircut because I did it. But yeah, it's basically we have almost like a relationship built on a blog of, say, she sends me pictures saying like, oh, this is my hair colour on week 2, this is my hair colour on week 3, because she actually enjoys it herself.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, I did a video on TikTok also, just like showing the fade. So I did my hair with Cupid, actually. It was a combination of Cupid and Fireball. So the two that I'm using today, the pink one here and the red one, and I like combined this together, made a really, really vibrant, like hot pink. And I made a whole video about it, just showing the process of the fade because there are so many pretty colors. And it's nice because you don't ever get sick of your hair color then, because you just get a new one like every couple washes. So I found that to be really nice.
So I always come up with loads of questions while people are trying to demonstrate. I'm sorry, I'll be quiet.
That's okay. I don't mind. I like the questions, honestly. It's good. Keep them coming. But
there was some questions earlier, and it was a bit of a... It was bit in the bit where he was talking, so I didn't want to interrupt you. But what sets... Sorry, let's say that again. What sets Pulp Riot products apart from the other vivid colours on the market? Does it stain the hair?
No, so what I would say is, at least in my opinion, and from what I've seen from Pulp Riot, is it doesn't stain the hair, which is fantastic. And the thing that really separated it for me personally, because I work in Camden Town in London, so this is like, if you're not familiar with it, it's like the punk rock kind of area of London. So this is where you get a ton of clientele and people that are looking for vivid colors specifically. And something that I was running into was a lot of my clients were wanting to change their vivids regularly or change the colors. They wouldn't want to just get one color and then stick with it or commit to it. It was like their next appointment. They want to be, you know, go from red to, I don't know, like lavender. And then the next appointment, they want to go to a dark blue. And, you know, they constantly were wanting to change. And what really sets Pulp Riot apart is that you can actually remove the colors with blank canvas completely. So you basically just reset. And blank canvas is the Pulp Riot color remover. So it works for the semi-permanent colors. You go in, you know, you put this blank canvas on, and within 20 minutes, the color is completely gone. Usually, I mean, to be honest, it's never taken me 20 minutes to get rid of the color, but you can leave it on for up to 20. But usually within 5 minutes for me, the color's completely removed. And then I've got this completely perfect canvas to go start again on. So yeah, that's what I think sets Pulp Riot apart.
Yeah, Deirdre sort of backed you up there. She said it's derived from a colour pigment. It's not artificial. It is a colour pigment that is easily removed.
Yes, exactly. She's on it. But yeah, no, that's exactly it. And it's fantastic. Gives you a lot of possibility to switch up your colors, give your clients more range to get creative. And it's also, I think, helps them to feel safer with trying a vivid color for the first time. Because if you're not, if you're new to vivid colors and you're not sure if you're going to like it, just knowing that you have the possibility of removing it also gives that extra little like security blanket. And I think it also makes people more keen to try out things they wouldn't normally try out. Like now that, my clients have seen they can get colors completely removed, they're more willing to try putting like lime green in their hair. Whereas normally you don't see people wanting to go lime green or really neon orange. You see people wanting to go a little bit more of like the, purples or pinks, things like that. But get a lot more crazy colors now that people know they can get it out if they don't like it.
Yeah, well, we've got the imminent season, which is your festival season coming soon. I know it feels like a while away with it being February, but you need to get your practicing in, you need to get your things in and advertise this to them sort of customers if you want to get them back. So now's the time to start like playing with these colours and learning. Yeah,
no, absolutely. I would agree. And then they'll be really, really ready to go with the crazy colors by the time festival season rolls around.
Exactly. And to be fair though, you won't even need full applications of this type of colour, will you? You could also do it just by putting paneling, I guess.
No, exactly. You can just put in some panels, and even if you're just doing like a peekaboo in the back, or even just like the panels that I'm doing like right here at the front, doing a money piece like that, or just right here by the ear, you still get that bright pop of color, but you don't have to commit to doing the entire head, which is really nice.
So I noticed that there's a split in the hair. Is that because of the sectioning?
Yes, so I've kind of started here at the top now because with my sectioning, I've got a section here at the side I need to do as well, so I'm just starting here more so that you can see. I think typically I would go maybe right here next to it on the side, but I think this is a better view for you guys. So I'm going to start with this one up here. And then I'll pull the one from the side right over top of that as well.
Christabel says, what is your trend prediction for colours in 2023?
For colours?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think, at least for the first half of 2023, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more pinks. Just because that's what I've been seeing a ton of recently. Last year, I had seen a lot of greens. I think that might have been influenced by Billie Eilish, if we're being completely honest, and her lime green roots. But I saw a lot of green last year, and now suddenly it just seems to be pink. Like everyone wants pink. But it's not been a super, super dark pink that I've seen people looking for. It's been a little bit more of like a lighter, brighter one. So I'm thinking at least for the first half of 2023, we're going to be seeing a lot more of that pink. But that's just my guess.
I agree. I think pink was on the Pantone colour of the year. I think it's definitely going to be a big thing for colour this year, definitely. For those of you that don't know, by the way, we are live on Twitch today. All being well anyway, I presume we are. We're live on Twitch for the first proper time. Hopefully it's all working. If you are watching it on YouTube as well, if you want to watch it on your TV later, this will be available for rewatch, and you can watch Kelcey in full 50-inch TV, whatever you've got in your living room or in your salons later on. Erin, pink is fantastic, and I love the look that you are creating.
Oh, thank you. I think
how do you mix them together, by the way? I can see you using your finger there.
Yes,
do you always use
so
your
what
finger?
I'm doing now is I'm just kind of going in and smudging them a little bit, where if I feel like it could have been just blended a little bit better, you can just go in, take your finger, and just kind of smudge them together, work them together really well.
So would you avoid contact with, say, your orange into your yellow, or would you avoid contacting?
I don't think so. I think when you first go in and apply the colors, like I said, I'll try and overlap them just a little bit. But here, I'm just going in and rubbing them together just to kind of create a little bit more of a blend. I'm obviously not going all the way through, I'm leaving some points just pure yellow. But I'm taking the orange and just working it up a little bit into it, because I find it just gives it a bit more of a seamless blend. No one wants to take out the prism and just get these like harsh lines. So that just helps to create, a bit more of a seamless, smooth blend all the way through.
Cara's saying that looks amazing, Kelcey.
Aw, thank you. All right, I'm just going in again here with the pink right there at the root, all the way in through the top. And the nice thing is you can just lay this right on top and stick it. Something that I will say as well with the Pulp Riot colors is if I were to leave this here, which I will be doing actually in a bit, but you can actually lay different colors on top of each other without them mixing, which is a really big perk as well, because I've found with some other vivid colors I've used in the past, you got to make sure they're not making contact essentially with each other, or there would be like bleeding or things like that. But with the Pulp Riot colors, they essentially encapsulate, and so they create this little like shell around the hair while they're processing, so they don't actually mix together once they've been sat there for a minute or two. And you don't get that smudging essentially.
On that then, what a lot of people, a couple of people have asked, and you just literally led it into the question as well. What is the development time on the Pulp Riot Vivids?
Yes, so the development time is 40 minutes, so I usually leave it up to 40. Obviously, they don't have to stay for a full 40. You can leave them in, just from like 15 minutes if you wanted. But I personally like to leave them for the full 40, and the reason behind that is because you get a clear rinse after you've let them sit for a full 40 minutes, because again, like with the colors, they're encapsulating. So what that's going to do is that means when you rinse the hair, you're going to use high pressure water, and you're going to want to use cold water. And when you do that, the colors don't bleed into each other, they don't mix. So essentially I could have, my hot pink right here and my yellow right there, and when I rinse, those aren't going to bleed together. So this is actually still going to be yellow at the end of that. It's not going to change to orange. It's not going to change to pink. It's not going to be affected. It's still going to be that really nice, vibrant yellow because it's protected while we're rinsing it.
Nice.
So
Deirdre saying, Kelcey, amazing education.
Yeah, no, I think it just gives a lot more opportunity to be creative as well with the colors, and it gives you a little bit more freedom to try new things and go a little bit crazy with the hair.
I think obviously Sarah's just missed that bit, but she said, do they bleed when they are rinsed? I think Kelcey advised cold water.
Yes. So you want to use cool water to rinse, and then just make sure that your water's got high pressure as well if you can, because that high pressure is also going to help. So high water pressure, cool water, and that's going to give you a nice clear rinse to avoid having the colors mixing. I'm upsetting the rest of her hair here. There we go.
How long would a full head take your application on a normal client?
If I was going to do something like this, I would say probably about 45 minutes maybe. Granted, it depends, I think, how much I'm talking, because obviously when I'm talking, I take a lot more time. I've found that out the hard way. When I'm not talking, I move a lot quicker. I would say it depends how chatty the person is, but I would say around like 45 minutes probably, just to be safe, because I'm usually pretty chatty. So
there's nothing wrong with that. Deirdre's saying, Simon, is your salon a Vivid salon, and how are you finding it? So we are a Vivid salon. We actually use So-Color Cult, which is Matrix, and I know that we're obviously in the same family now. Many people won't know that, but we are. But no, the Pulp Riot is definitely sort of my transitional Vivid colour that I will be going to.
Yeah.
In other words, Deirdre, I don't know what I'm allowed to say. I actually have no idea, Deirdre. I'm contracted to Matrix. Do I use Pulp Riot? No.
Where's your salon at, Simon?
So I am based in a town called Burnley, which you will never have heard of, but it's it's basically near Manchester to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
well, I think my excuse can be that I'm American, so that's why I've never heard of it.
Yeah, forgive me. That's what I meant by I knew you would never have heard of it. It's not somewhere most people in Burnley, in England, have heard of. Sorry, it's only a tiny little town. No, it's not a big place to come. So yeah, we have a little salon. We use Matrix colours, but we do use I'm only joking. We do use Pulp Riot.
Yes. Awesome. So I'm just kind of taking my last little section right here. It's basically just right here by the face. So my face is really right around here. And it's just kind of the bit that's at an angle there, so it doesn't quite go into the section right above the ear, but it doesn't quite go into that money piece section either. So I'm just making another little section right here with that on another foil and just painting that on. That way we don't miss any hair.
Somebody has just pointed out. Have you seen the new Netflix series Bank of Dave? Have you seen it or heard of it? No. Basically, watch that and then you've seen everything in Burnley because it's all based in Burnley.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you watch that, you've got a full. Yeah, it's better than Wikipedia.
All right. Well, I'll have to give that a go.
Yeah, you will have to go. Empress has put so excited for Sunday. Eek. Are you doing something on Sunday?
Sunday?
Yeah, no. Maybe she's having a conversation. Apologies if that.
No, I mean, yeah, this Sunday is an exciting day in the U.S., but that's just because it's Super Bowl Sunday.
Is it Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, this coming Sunday.
Wow.
I think, if I'm not wrong, yeah. It's the 12th this coming Sunday. That's a big day in the U.S.
That is a big day. It's a big day here, to be fair. I'll watch that. I never realised it's on until sort of the week of it, but I've completely lost track of it.
Well, the thing is, it's on so late here that, don't get too much opportunity to watch it unless you want to stay up really late, so that's really down to you, but,
That is
But I probably will.
Charlotte said, so these colours work on hair that isn't pre-lightened, ?
So, with these colors, I would always recommend pre-lightening. And that's because these, don't have any chemicals essentially in them. So what you're going to be doing is you need to open up the hair cuticle, and that way these colors will be able to deposit. So you need like lightener, or I would, lift the hair a bit first. That's going to give you the best result. Otherwise, they would show up on hair that hasn't been lifted, but it's going to wash out in really, really soon, honestly. Because I've had people come in before and they're saying, oh, can, we put this color on? Obviously, if you've got, brown hair, you've got anything that's like lighter than a level 8, they're probably not going to show up much at all. But I've got some blondes that come in, they're natural, like level 10, and they're like, oh yeah, I want to put this color on. I don't have to lift it. And I'm like, that's great, but we still probably want to lift it, because if not, it's going to wash out really quickly. You really want to be able to open up the hair cuticle and then be able to deposit this so that it stays and, lasts. So I would always recommend pre-lightening the hair first. It's going to give you really the best results and the most longevity, I would say, as well.
So one question I know that people will be asking on the rewatch, because we get hundreds and hundreds of rewatches later. What is the best, or what is your take-home product in looking after this hair type after you've done a Vivid?
So you're going to want to make sure that you're using sulfate-free shampoo. That is the most important thing. Sulfate-free shampoo. And then also, try not to wash it super often if you can avoid it. I think dry shampoo is going to need to become your best friend with Vivids. Essentially because that's, like with every wash, you're, releasing a little bit more of the color. So just to make sure that everything is staying in there well, you want to wash as little as you can. And then, sulfate-free shampoo, and as well, cold water. Cool water is going to be your best friend to help keep the Vivids. And the reason behind that is just because, your hair cuticle opens with the hot water. So if you've got cool water, it's going to help keep your hair cuticle sealed more, and that's going to help keep the color inside a bit more.
See, the thing is, though, we always feel awful for saying these things to our clients, but at the end of the day, they're spending £100 excess plus on these colours, and they don't want them to last for 2 weeks. They want them to last for, as long as physically possible. So we need to give them this advice. That's
the thing. And I mean, to be honest, I'll have a realistic conversation with my client before we even do Vivids. If it's their first time having them, I'll just kind of sit down with them for a minute and say, okay, how do you typically take care of your hair? And we'll kind of walk through what their normal routine is and what they're kind of prepared to do to take care of it. And I'll just talk to them about the reality of this is, what's going to actually help your hair to last, your hair color to last and to really stay well and to fade well. And, for you to get the most out of it, this is kind of the hair care that you're going to be looking at. Are you willing to do that? Because if not, this might not be their best route. Maybe we need to find something else, or maybe we don't want to do a whole head to get started, you know, like this is the reality of it. I think it's always really, really important to be honest and upfront with your clients, because if you're not, then that leaves them disappointed, you know? And I know I personally rather just have the truth kind of straight up. You know, I'd rather my stylist tell me than to find out the hard way later when you're out a couple 100 pounds and, you know, with hair that's not even colored anymore.
Christabel nailed it. She said educating clients is key, because if we don't educate them, they will ring up and ask later, but often it's because it's coming out.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, honestly, I found that they've been so much more appreciative to know up front what they're getting into. And a lot of the time, they're actually more likely to, I would say, get it done again and again in the future then, because they have prepared themselves, they are aware of the commitment, and they really want it. So,
yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Now I've kind of gone through and just finished everything right around the hairline. So I'm just going to go in with my pink and kind of color the last section here. I'm just going to tilt the head here a little bit more, see if you can see this. But that's sort of what we've got left, this little section right here at the top. And all of this is going to be pink. And that's just going to kind of fall over everything else.
That's awesome. Dave Donnelly put, any creative hairdressers out there, please add us on pulpriot.com. At pulpriot.com on Instagram. This is how we identify our future artists for Pulp Riot. Also, guys, if you are interested in this kind of education, this kind of world, and seeing more of people like Kelcey, there is a website that genuinely does not get used enough by hairdressers, and it's called l'orealaccess.com.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
It's mad how much information and how much education. You think this education that we're giving away for free, Kelcey, by the way, sat here for free, I'm sat here for free, just because we both love the artist world of hairdressing. This website's got tenfold what we can offer. Yeah,
it's incredible. Also, just want to come back to something again about the colors, is now that I've kind of gone in and I've done this whole strand of pink, I can lay that right on top of my prism here. Yep. And it's not going to affect the yellow or the orange in any way. It's because the color is encapsulated, so it's not going to cause a problem there. It's not going to cause any funny bleeding. Yeah, so you don't need to go in and put another foil down on top of those to protect it or anything. You're good to go to just keep applying different colors and laying them on top of each other.
I can imagine there's some re-watchers now that were hands over the keyboards about to say, like, oh my God, probably panicking that you're putting colour on top of colour, but...
Yeah. Yeah, no need to panic. I've actually done this as well. We've got semi-permanent black in the range, and it's called Noir. And I've actually even used that, and you lay that on top of yellow. I think I did that in another live that we had with the Pulp Riot Instagram account. You can probably find it on pulpriot.uk on Instagram. But yeah, we've used some Noir and laid it over top of the yellow, and it's not affected anything.
See, so you put black over a yellow, and it didn't run?
Yeah, I did a strand of hair that was black, and there was some yellow as well at the bottom, and they touch, and it doesn't affect it at all.
That is awesome. I tell you what, I don't know if I've ever seen a brand do a semi-permanent black before. I don't know if maybe I'm uneducated, but yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, it's the first time that I've really seen it as well. But again, maybe it does exist out there, and I just don't know about it. But it was the first time I'd seen it, and I kind of wondered, like, oh, is this really necessary? Like, if people want dark, they might want to use a toner or whatever. And then I found, especially around Halloween, it comes in handy. It really comes in handy. Because, again, it's a semi-permanent, and you can completely remove it. So, it really works well. Do they have any
colours for grey? You know, for obviously with pre-lighting people's hair, people still want the steely, silvery toners. Do we have any colours for that? Because if not, putting a drop of black in tends to, if you put it in a clear, that can give a really steely look as well.
Yeah, we do have a couple of greys as well. I can actually pull them up in the shade chart here in a second. But we've got two. One is called Mercury, and that's a bit of a lighter toned silver. And then we've also got one called Smoke as well. And those are both silvers that have got more of like a purpley kind of base. So they're generally, let me pull them up here. They generally show up really, really well in here. So Mercury is this one right here.
Yep.
You can see it there. And then we've got Smoke. I just need to find it. Yeah, and then smoke is right here, so it's just a bit more of that like steely kind of color. It's really nice.
So that shade chart, forgive me for being, this is a genuine question for me. The shade chart there, they're all the colours available. They're not colours that you get by mixing A and B. Are they just all the shades available?
No, so those are all shades that are available.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Because you know, like when you see some colour books and they'll say like, they'll have a colour, but they'll say it's 2 parts this and the 1 part that.
Nope, those are all straight out of the 2 colors, and then on top of that, you can intermix the colors. So you really have an endless possibility of shades because you've got so many colors that are all just so intermixable, and it's really, really great.
That is genuinely then showing the actual growth speed of this brand, because I remember, and I'm still not aware of all them shades, but I do remember the full collection when I first saw it was about 10 colours, if that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure
it was much smaller, and then bit by bit, we just keep releasing new shades.
Joe has commented, they make the client's hair feel so beautiful, and the product smells lush. You got anything to add to that?
Yes. No, I mean, the smell's fantastic. I think I still have not worked out what the smell is. It drives me nuts because I want to know what is the scent. But the scent it's literally just Pulp Riot. I have no idea what the scent is, but it's fantastic. And it does really leave the hair feeling really, really fresh. So, because all the colors are enriched with quinoa as well. And so they're really just going in and adding that extra boost of conditioning and shine. And it really does leave the hair feeling fantastic.
So as an American living in London, a hair artist, and I'm throwing words like they smell lush, is that a translatable thing, or do you ever use that word before for smell of hair?
I have not personally.
No.
But I have been in the UK now for, 8 years? I've been here since 2014, so I'm pretty well acquainted with it. It just hasn't really made its way to my vocabulary yet. But I kind of feel the same about the English accent as well. I have not managed to get any of that, and I've been here for 8 years. It's a bit disappointing, really, but...
It is crazy when you hear how different my accent is to somebody who lives 10 minutes down the road. It's bizarre.
Yeah. It is. It is. You guys have loads of different accents here. But it's quite cool also. I really like it.
Maybe. Deirdre said he's 100% vegan. I didn't even know that. That's a new thing.
Yes, it is. It is 100% vegan.
Now, I can tell you, not that I'm telling you the brands that I'm on about, but not many brands in the world can say they are 100% vegan.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly, and we are, and we've got the semi-permanents, we've got high-speed toners, we've got liquid demis as well. There's loads, within Pulp Riot, and all of it is completely vegan.
Well, I know we're getting towards the end of the section. I don't want people to tune out if they're watching. I want you to, if you've just joined us, remember that if you do share this live, you want to get your hands on some of these colours and have a play with them yourselves. I don't know if Deirdre's thrown an apron in, but I suggested maybe let's throw an apron in there, get really Pulp Riot for social media. If you want to get your hands on this, all you need to do is share this live. By sharing the live, you've then shown it to your friends, and then we want you to tag one hairdresser friend that you think would absolutely love this. Do that, and that's it. Next Monday, you find out if you've won a little goodie bag.
Yes. Awesome.
It's as simple as that.
Just to yes. And just to mention as well, again, a bit off topic, but I'm going to take it back to the rinse again. When I go to rinse this off in a bit, you want to make sure that you're not using any shampoo when you rinse also, especially for this first initial rinse, because it is, conditioning based. And there's nothing in here that needs to be shampooed out of the hair. There's no chemical in there that needs to be shampooed out. So all I would do is let this sit then for a full 40 minutes, and then I would just give it a rinse with, again, high pressure water and cool water. And that's all you need to do for rinsing it out. No shampoo, nothing like that. And I usually advise my clients, if they can, to avoid, shampooing for a few days, just so, because it really just lets it sit in there and really take to the hair. It just helps, again, with longevity.
Where would people who have loved your live, who've been inspired by yourself, like me, inspired by you, where would they find more of your work?
Yes, so they could find more of that on Instagram at Kelcey Lourido Hair. And then I've also got some little video kind of walkthroughs on TikTok as well. That is just at kelcey.lourido. Yeah, and those are kind of the places you would find me, essentially.
Well, I have put it on there, at Kelcey Lourido here. I wrote it as quick as I could, so hopefully it's spelled correctly, but it's with a C, I remember that much.
Yeah.
So yes, guys. And then obviously pulpriot.uk, not .com as was mentioned earlier, .uk. And a massive, massive shout to anybody who's just wanting to learn more of this. Go to L'Oreal Access.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I'll just turn her around here again just to show the end results. That way we can see what we've worked with in case someone hasn't been here since the beginning. So we're just working on these prisms here, and here's what they look like there at the front. I don't know if you can see a lot there, but I can move her a little bit closer if that helps. Yeah, there, and then we've got them kind of going all the way around through the hairline here as well, and underneath here at the bottom. We've just got those really nice prisms throughout.
This is awesome. So thank you so much. If you guys have been inspired, if you're going to create something like this, tag us in it at Hairsocials, at Kelcey Lourido Hair, at pulpriot.uk. Let us know what you've created, because I can't wait to see it. But other than that, Kelcey, I just want to say you are the first to take over Hairsocials from Pulp Riot. You're the bravest one. You put your foot forward first. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. It's been good to be here.
It has, and I will chat with you in a minute. Deirdre will be getting your goodie bag ready. Don't forget to share the live, guys, and thank you again.
Awesome.